Hello guys, this is Brian Rowe, owner and operator of Mud Duck Racing Engines. I'm the driver of the 55B Eco Mod and the 2026, and we will be doing some B Mod racing as well, depending on what this dyno test kind of tells us what this motor, will it be capable of running with the B Mod class with a 4-barrel, or would it be a waste of our time? So anyway, for the guys that don't know me, that's who I am. We're going to be putting some content together on racing engines. We're going to share a lot of this information with you so we don't have to guess anymore. We'll know after doing a lot of these types of hands-on testing and experimenting, and pass this information on to you guys. So that way we all kind of learn together, know together, and better informed when we're dealing with race car engines. Well, hello. We're here at the Mud Duck Racing Shop. Mud Duck Racing Engines. We got a big dyno session coming up. We're going to take the Mud Duck 1 to the chassis dyno at Dennis Wells up in Duncanville, and we're going to see what this motor is going to do on a dyno as far as power and torque, and we're going to run a couple of different carburetors on it. We're going to try the old Rochester 2G500. We're going to see what it does for the Eco Mod class. And then after we get a couple of pulls on it, we feel like the jetting and everything's right on the Rochester, then we're going to turn around and flip it. And we're going to put a 750 Holley 4-barrel on it to mimic a concept B Mod motor. We're not going to change rocker arms. We're going to leave the stock stamped steel rocker arms on it. Pretty much the only thing we're going to do is do a carburetor change. And that way we know for sure how much does a Rochester 2-barrel actually hurt an engine when you have to run it in the Eco Mod class compared to running a Holley 500 or say a 750, 4150 Holley. Don't really know what that is, don't know what that's going to be, but we will know for sure after we do this dyno session. We'll know for 100% how much does a Rochester really rob power from a motor and take away from it in the Eco Mod class compared to the B Mods. So we're gonna finish this little thing up here. This is a friend of mine's motor. We're wrapping it up. Hopefully it'll be done by the end of the week. But we're fixing to stop here and go load the car up, get everything ready to go to Dennis Wells tomorrow. Supposed to be there around 2:30. Maybe spend 2 hours doing some testing. And then when we get back, we'll take some videos of the dyno test to kind of show you what it's all about and kind of how they do it. And then when we get done at the dyno, then we'll sit down and kind of have a results topic and kind of go over exactly what we've seen on the dyno and how the Rochester 2-barrel performs compared to a 4150 4-barrel. So we'll see you guys after a while, and we'll see you after the dyno. Well, here it is, guys. The next day after the dyno, we left the 4150 on it, and that's what we ended the dyno test with. She ran real good. Was happy with it, and we're fixing to put the breather back on this one, and then we're going to put this thing together and load it up, and we're going to take it out to Next race will be in Hunt County. We're gonna run B mods 2 nights On the third night, we're gonna swap it back over to the Rochester and run Eco Mods on Saturday night. All right, guys, we're back. Just wanted to kind of do a little recap on our dyno session. Went real well. We didn't have any issues. What we started out with, we showed up with a Rochester 2-barrel 500, and we did, I think it was 2 to 3 pulls, and we realized we had a problem. It would get to about 5,400, about 5,500 RPMs, and we started doing a little banging and missing, and it just didn't want to seem like it wanted to climb much past 5,500. Dennis suggested that, we got an ignition problem. So what we did is we disconnected the rev limiter box to see if that was malfunctioning. That wasn't a problem. Come to find out, somehow the distributor became loose, and it ended up moving on its own, and we were running at about 18 degrees timing. So if any of you guys got a motor that won't rev over 5,400 without start banging out and missing, that'd be probably the first thing you might want to check is your timing. So anyway, we got it checked, we got it turned in, we got it cranked up to about 36 degrees timing, fired it back up, and voila, no problem. It swung up to 6,800 without a miss. Got 2 or 3 pulls on it. The best we could do on that after we adjusted timing, we got approximately right at about 262-ish, 63 horsepower with about 279 pounds of torque. That was about the best we could do on this engine. I mean, we were hoping to get closer to 275, 280, but it's all she had. So anyway, we decided that was enough with the 2-barrel. We were satisfied with it. It sounded good, run good, very smooth, accelerated well. Just didn't meet the number we wanted. I mean, we were shooting for 275, 280. We were just a little short. But so then we made a carburetor change, and we put a 4-barrel on it, a 4150, a 750 BLP, and Dennis had made a comment that we put the 4-barrel on it that we should see about a 30 to a 40 horsepower gain just swapping carburetors. That's typically what he sees in his shop. So anyway, we put this carburetor on, we verified timing again. Timing was still on. And anyway, on the very first pull, the horsepower jumped all the way to 358 horsepower. Almost 110 horsepower gain, just simply changing carburetors. So that let us know the motor was plenty healthy. It could have made more if we'd have changed out the roller rocker arms and made it more of a B-mod motor, but we pretty much ran it as an eco motor with a 4-barrel, which is a straight up concept motor except for the rocker arms. Dennis and myself was very pleased with the increase in horsepower because we was not expecting 100 horsepower gain on the carburetor. So, but anyway, it did it. We backed it up with 3 more pulls. We made we did do some jet changes. We were running a little lean, and we fattened them up quite a bit. We went from 74 jets all the way to, I believe we put I think it was a 79 and an 80 is what we ended up putting in the carburetor at the very end. And we gained 4 more horsepower just on the jet change, and we pretty much stopped there. So pretty much knocking on the door of 360 horsepower with simply changing out the carburetor. And personally, I think 360 horsepower is enough to run with B-mods. So all you guys that are running Eco Mod classes and we're having to run that Rochester 2-barrel, it's gonna kill us in that class. But if your motor is built right and your motor's done correctly and everything's matched up right, you should be able to change over to a Holley 4-barrel and should be able to make enough horsepower to run with the B-mod class with a concept motor. Now the guys run the open motors in the B-mod class, they may still get us on horsepower. But when the track goes dry slick, I think it all kind of evens up. A lot of horsepower, not much traction. Good horsepower and good traction. I think it makes it even. I think it makes it competitive. So what we're going to do is this year we're going to run both classes off and on just to kind of test this motor to see if it can hang with the B mods. And we'll give you some updates as the season goes on and how the motor performs and how it continues to grow, and see how we keep working on the car and see if we can actually take an Eco Mod motor and be competitive in a B mod class without having to actually build a B mod motor. So with that said, we're going to call today. We're going to put the car back in the shop, and we're going to get ready for Hunt County here in about 3 weeks. And then we'll get back with you guys then, and we'll kind of go over results and see how the motor did at Hunt County. Thank you.